Emotional triggers are situations, words, or events that provoke strong emotional reactions, often tied to past experiences or unresolved issues. Understanding these triggers is essential for improving emotional regulation, enhancing self-awareness, and fostering healthier relationships. By recognizing and addressing these emotional responses, individuals can reduce impulsivity and cultivate more thoughtful reactions. In this video, we explore the nature of emotional triggers, how they affect our behavior, and strategies for managing them effectively. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. The psychology behind emotional triggers. To fully understand emotional triggers, it is important to explore their psychological roots. Our emotional responses are often shaped by past experiences, unconscious biases, and deeply held beliefs. For example, someone who has experienced betrayal or rejection may feel particularly sensitive to perceived slights or criticism, even when no harm was intended. The emotional brain, specifically the amygdala, plays a critical role in triggering automatic responses to threats or discomfort. However, these responses are not always rational and can be influenced by cognitive biases, such as confirmation bias, where we tend to interpret new information in a way that confirms existing beliefs or fears. Additionally, emotional triggers can stem from unprocessed trauma, unresolved conflicts, or unmet needs. These emotional wounds can be activated when we encounter similar situations or people who remind us of past experiences, often causing disproportionate emotional reactions. Common emotional triggers. There are several common emotional triggers that many people experience, and they can vary depending on individual histories and personalities. These triggers often include situations such as criticism, rejection, perceived failure, or feeling misunderstood. For example, criticism at work can trigger feelings of inadequacy or defensiveness in someone who has struggled with self-esteem in the past. Similarly, feelings of rejection or abandonment can be strong emotional triggers, especially for those with a history of unstable relationships or childhood attachment issues. Even everyday situations can become triggers when individuals are overwhelmed or stressed, such as missing a deadline or facing unexpected changes. Stress itself can heighten sensitivity to triggers, leading people to overreact or become emotionally drained by minor frustrations. It is important to remember that emotional triggers are highly personal. What triggers one person may not affect another in the same way. Identifying and understanding these triggers allows for proactive strategies in managing emotional reactions before they escalate. The psychological basis of emotional triggers. Emotional triggers often arise from unresolved issues in our past, such as trauma, childhood experiences, or patterns of behavior established in early relationships. For example, a child who experiences neglect or emotional abuse may grow up with an internalized fear of rejection or abandonment. As an adult, they might be triggered by even minor instances where they feel ignored or unimportant. This can lead to a disproportionate emotional response, such as anger or anxiety. Furthermore, our attachment style, developed during early childhood, affects how we react emotionally to others as adults. Individuals with insecure attachment styles may be more sensitive to emotional triggers related to fear of rejection, trust, or intimacy. Cognitive distortions, such as black and white thinking, viewing situations as all good or all bad, can amplify emotional triggers. These biases shape how we interpret and react to situations, often leading to more intense emotional reactions than are warranted. Understanding these psychological foundations helps individuals gain insight into why certain triggers exist and how to address them more effectively. The consequences of unmanaged emotional triggers. Failing to manage emotional triggers can have far-reaching consequences, both for an individual's emotional health and for their relationships. For example, when someone reacts impulsively to a trigger without first taking a moment to pause, their response might escalate the situation, causing conflict or misunderstandings. Over time, Unmanaged emotional triggers can lead to chronic stress, burnout, and emotional exhaustion, particularly in high-pressure environments like the workplace or home. When emotional reactions go unchecked, it can damage professional relationships, making it difficult to collaborate or communicate effectively. In personal relationships, frequent emotional outbursts or defensiveness can strain communication and create emotional distance. Moreover, emotional triggers often lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as avoidance, substance use, or excessive rumination. These responses might provide temporary relief, but do not address the underlying emotional issues. Ultimately, unresolved emotional triggers can contribute to a negative emotional cycle where individuals feel overwhelmed, disconnected, and unable to move forward in their personal or professional lives. Recognizing your emotional triggers. The first step toward managing emotional triggers is recognizing them. Self-awareness is key in understanding the patterns behind intense emotional reactions. One way to begin identifying emotional triggers is through reflection. After experiencing a strong emotional reaction, take a step back to consider what specifically triggered the response. Did something about the situation remind you of a past experience? Were certain words or behaviors involved? Tracking emotional triggers over time can reveal patterns that highlight recurring situations or stressors. Journaling or discussing these experiences with a trusted friend or therapist can also provide valuable insights. Another helpful approach is mindfulness, which involves observing your emotions without judgment. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you can learn to become more aware of your emotional state in real time, allowing you to pause before reacting impulsively. Additionally, understanding your emotional triggers helps in managing your environment, such as avoiding situations that tend to provoke negative emotions, if possible. Mindfulness and self-regulation. Mindfulness practices are powerful tools for improving self-regulation and managing emotional triggers. Mindfulness involves being present in the moment, acknowledging your emotions as they arise, and refraining from reacting immediately. When a trigger occurs, mindfulness allows you to observe your feelings with greater clarity, reducing the likelihood of impulsive reactions. Deep breathing exercises, body scans, or meditation can help calm the body's natural stress response and bring focus to the present moment. A key aspect of mindfulness is acceptance, which means allowing yourself to feel the emotion without judgment or resistance. This practice reduces the intensity of emotions and allows individuals to process their feelings more effectively. Additionally, mindfulness helps build emotional resilience by enhancing emotional awareness. It can reduce the overall emotional reactivity, allowing individuals to respond thoughtfully and constructively rather than react instinctively. Over time, mindfulness techniques can foster greater emotional balance and improve long-term emotional health. Seeking support and gaining perspective. While mindfulness and self-reflection are powerful tools, seeking support from others can be invaluable when dealing with emotional triggers. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can provide new perspectives on situations that trigger emotional responses. Sometimes, simply articulating your feelings can provide clarity and reduce their intensity. A therapist, in particular, can help identify deeper psychological patterns behind your triggers, such as unresolved trauma or maladaptive coping mechanisms. Support groups or peer counseling can also provide shared experiences and offer strategies for managing emotional responses. Gaining feedback from others can provide helpful insights and serve as a reminder that you are not alone in dealing with emotional challenges. Talking through your emotional reactions can also build emotional intelligence and provide strategies for better handling similar situations in the future. Emotional triggers are a natural part of human experience, but understanding and managing them is key to personal growth and emotional resilience. By recognizing the underlying causes of our emotional reactions and employing techniques like mindfulness and reflection, we can respond more thoughtfully in challenging situations. This process not only improves our emotional regulation, but also strengthens our relationships and overall well-being. With awareness and practice, we can navigate our emotional responses with greater control and balance. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.